Are we getting a Paper Mario 64 remake next year, or maybe another Mario RPG? Here's why I think it's very likely. So the past 2 years, we've gotten Mario RPG remakes. We got Super Mario RPG Remake in 2023, and then the Thousand Year Door in 24, and both sold incredibly well. Like, this got a lot more Mario RPG fans, got a lot of people in this series for the first time, since these games weren't the most accessible. Or at least the Thousand Year Door wasn't accessible. Super Mario RPG was just very dated, and Nintendo is definitely taking notice of this. So that's why I think they're probably going to be remaking either a Paper Mario game or a Mario Luigi game sometime next year to really give Mario RPG fans something on the Switch too. Now, there's a few choices for what it could be. So the obvious one is Paper Mario 64. It's the oldest game without a remake. It hasn't really aged bad, even though it's an N64 game, but it definitely could use a fresh coat of paint and some quality of life improvements. And you may say they just skipped it, so they're not going to make it. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I think the Thousand Year Door, they know how popular it is, and they thought if we're going to remake or remaster a Paper Mario game, we're going to do the one that's received the most critical acclaim. So I would not be surprised at all if they just went back and remade Paper Mario 64. And as for Super Paper Mario, because I think it's the only other one realistic in this series to get a remake, like, listen, I love Super Paper Mario. I'd love a remake, but I don't really think it makes sense to remake that before the N64 version, because Super Paper Mario still looks fine. It doesn't really need that many quality of life improvements. Like, the big thing would just be, I guess, just changing the difficulty. But this game, while it sold better than Paper Mario 64, it doesn't have the same popularity like among a lot of fans in the series. So I think Paper Mario 64 is by far more likely. And then for the Mario and Luigi series, so this is interesting because, as you know, we did get 2 remakes of Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story in 2017 and 2019, but they were on the 3DS after the Switch release, so no one played this. Like, the Bowser's Inside Story remake was legitimately maybe the worst selling Mario game of all time. Like, it sold like 50,000 copies, something like that, because just no one was playing on the 3DS at that time. It was a stupid decision by Nintendo. The remake itself was fine, but it was just very poorly executed. Superstar Saga, that sold better, but still not well. So there's 2 ways they could go about this if they want to remake these games. The first would be simply just porting the remake and just improving it for Switch, like obviously just improving the visuals but having the same art style, or just making them from the ground up once again. I think they could go with either. Something I would like to see is maybe a package of the 2 remakes and then adding in Partners in Time, and then obviously just polishing the visuals for the Switch too. Because I know a lot of people just hate on Partners in Time, but I really love it, and I think if you're a true Mario and Luigi fan, you should play this game. And there's no way to play it unless you have the original cartridge, or if you bought it on the Wii U eShop, which I think it was on the Wii U eShop, but obviously you can't download it anymore if it was. Now, I don't know if they would do that, just because that seems more like an anniversary collection, and there's no like big anniversary coming up for the series. I think Superstar Saga released in 2003, so that would make it 23 years old next year, so be kind of a random anniversary thing to have. So they'd have to release it just as its own thing, or they would wait until like 2028. But anyway, that's what I would like to see, but what Nintendo wants to see would probably be just releasing 1 remake, not bundling these games, because then Nintendo would have to give up other opportunities to make money. Like, they could probably sell these games for $70 each. In their minds, I don't know why they'd want to sell 3 games for $70. So yeah, it sucks, but that's kind of how Nintendo's been acting recently. I remember we got a full Advance Wars remake a couple years ago, and they charged $60 for that, and that was just 2 games just remade for the Switch. So that's what leads me to believe this would be a $70 game, but at least it gives me some hope that maybe they would package them together. So I've talked about what could happen, but why do I think it'll happen? It's just because the last 2 Mario RPG remakes sold incredibly well. Like, Super Mario RPG sold well and got a lot of people into that game, and then Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door sold very well as well, and that just came out last year. And it doesn't look like there's anything on the table for Mario RPGs right now, because we got the Thousand Year Door remake last year, or I know remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it. Someone's going to comment about that. And on one hand, you could say it's just, I'm just going to call it a remake for the sake of this video. You could think it's a remaster if you want. But anyway, someone could say we got a remake last year, so it means we're not getting a new Paper Mario until like 2028 or something. And that's a possibility, but I don't think Nintendo's going to wait like 4 or 5 years before they release the next Mario RPG, especially since the Switch 2 is out now. And then for Mario and Luigi, we literally just got Brothership a year ago, so I would say we're not getting a new game for quite a few years. It was something like, what was it, 8 years before we got a new Mario and Luigi game after Paper Jam with Brothership. So I don't think we're going to be getting any new Mario RPGs unless they want to make like a Super Mario RPG 2 or make it something completely new. So I think this would appeal to a lot of Mario RPG fans to get something on the Switch 2, maybe even convince someone to buy a Switch 2 who hasn't. And remakes or remasters, I think would be a remake in this case, are obviously a lot easier to make than a brand new game. A lot of the designs, creative, writing, that's all taken care of. You're basically just improving the game for modern hardware. And I'm not saying it's easy to make a remake, like it's still like a AAA video game, it's going to take a lot of time to make, but it does take a lot less resources than making a completely new RPG. So that's why I really think this is just going to come out of nowhere. Like it might even come out in January. I know Nintendo often has January directs or February directs, and my prediction is they're going to announce a Mario RPG remake then, but that is all just speculation because we really don't know much about what's coming out for Mario next year. Like we know there's going to be the new sports game, and that's like pretty much it right now. I know there's the new Yoshi game, but that's not Mario. Because remember, for the original Switch, we got a Mario RPG within the first year. We got Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. So yeah, maybe they're making a third one of those, but those just don't have the same appeal as something like a Mario and Luigi or Paper Mario, because those are tactical RPGs. Like they're still accessible for what they are, I guess, but not as accessible as the other games. So if I had to guess exactly what we're getting, I would say it's either a Paper Mario 64 remake, Super Mario RPG 2, which isn't a remake, but I think that's going to be 3 years since the remake released and did well, so maybe they've been working on it, or maybe like a Mario and Luigi collection or a remake of one of the first 3 games, because I highly doubt they remake Dream Team yet. The game came out in 2013, so actually it's gonna be 13 years old. I didn't even realize it was that old. But I don't know, Nintendo has not remade any 3DS games yet, at least not to my knowledge. Maybe I'm forgetting one. And imagine like we're all speculating about like remaking Paper Mario 64, Super Paper Mario, and then they just come out and just like re-release Color Splash into
what?
And this time in Paper Mario Color Splash, the theme is colors and paint.
What?
As such, the game takes place in a colorful paradise called Prism Island.
What?
But
it's one of the few Wii U games Nintendo made that is just not on the Switch. I think the Mario RPG community would collectively lose its mind if that happened. Now, before I end the video, I just want to talk more about a potential Super Paper Mario remake, since it's one of my favorite games ever. So yeah, the difficulty in that is like just ridiculously easy, and I think a remake could make the game much more difficult, like add in more enemies, make them more difficult, make them less formulaic, change up the boss's patterns, maybe make them stronger, improve some of the puzzles. I think those are people's biggest criticisms with Super Paper Mario. It's just a very easy game. Like I think it's a greatly designed game. It has a great story, like the best in the Mario series. I love the characters, I love the world, but it doesn't really give much of a challenge. It's more of an experience than like a difficult adventure. And I believe it's either the best-selling or second best-selling Paper Mario game. I forgot if Origami King outsold it, but it did sell really well. So maybe Nintendo will see that and say, you know what, let's remake this, since there's no way to play it now unless you have a Wii or Wii U. But I truly don't think they remake it, if I'm being honest. Anyway, those are just my thoughts on this. Like, I think we're gonna get a Mario RPG remake next year. Let me know what you want to see and what you think we're going to see in the comments, and be sure to subscribe. This has been Domain with Game Domain. Thank you for watching.